Hello, hello. Welcome back to another movie review. So, tonight's movie is going to be The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam. Oh, God. The sheriff from the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. Jesus. He was also in a BBC show about elves and magicians and stuff. He was damn, can't remember his name, but I actually really like him. And I actually met him in New York City. It was just cool. And I was just like, damn, I can't remember his name. It had Hugh Grant, who I thought was fucking hilarious, and a lot of just good actors. I think the casting was really good, and the screenplay and the scenes and everything were beautifully shot, and I think the actors performed extremely well. And really, off the bat, super impressed with this film, even though I think it was a little over the place. It brought it together. But definitely, while I was watching it, I was kind of thinking a little bit like, okay, this is like a little ridiculous. And not saying that's a bad thing. You know, Guy Richie movies are, I think, a little ridiculous, in their nature, because they're usually, they're very story driven. And this movie was, I definitely would think, agree. This is, I think if you had to, ask, like, does it feel like a Guy Ritchie movie? 1000%. It feels like a Guy Ritchie movie. And I like that a lot. No spoilers. There are some really good twists. There are a good amount of turns. It's reminds me very much of Snatch, which I think is a very good thing. I loved Snatch. I think most people consider it, one of the better Guy Ritchie movies, and I think one of Jason Statham's best roles, Brad Pitt's best role. There were an incredible amount of great performances. Tyrone, he's right fucking behind you, isn't it? Like, I mean, come on, these fucking movies, are just classics. And I think this one definitely can be added to the list. Matthew McConaughey is phenomenal. Charlie Hunnam is phenomenal. For him, it's been kind of hit and miss a couple times with some of his roles, but I think this one was a fucking winner. I like him with the beard. He played a sort of. They say he's OCD once. He definitely played it well. You could see that he had tics. And the screenplay was shot so to highlight those. If you see him, he definitely played a subtle, very methodical, character. He definitely, I think was, one of his better roles. He's kind of typecasted a tiny little bit, but I mean, whatever. I think this one was good, and I think he works well with Guy Ritchie. I'm honestly not sure if he's done any Guy Ritchie stuff in the past. If he has, please enlighten me in the comments. But I think he would work well with him. Fits the... I'm trying to think of a good way. So I'll use this... I'll describe... Since I can't think of any way to do this spoiler-free, I'll use Snatch as an example. It introduces many characters. It's very like Guy Ritchie, where he does, a lot of the explaining at the beginning, and then kind of lets it play out for a bit, and then, brings these guys together. So I think it's very extremely similar, and in the way that it has a lot of characters that get woven together very nicely at the end. And I think the ending is very satisfying. It's very Guy Ritchie. And, I think you should just 10 out of 10 go see this movie. I think if I have to get it a number, value, I would say if a regular movie, if you want to go just, come and see this movie, go to the theaters, I'd say it's probably, a solid 7.5, I'd say. I think, there's definitely a niche for Guy Ritchie movies. I don't think they're for everybody. You have to go in knowing, it's a Guy Ritchie movie. But I think my Guy Ritchie score, not my, regular moviegoer score. My Guy Ritchie score is going to be a solid 8.5. Solid 8.5, 9. I mean, everyone played their roles great. The ending was so satisfying. I mean, really, what made me happy is Charlie Hunnam. Was well did. I think he was very good in this. He's had a couple. Him and Taron Egerton have so much potential, and I feel like they're just so hit and miss with roles. And it's tough to. The typecasting is really tough to break free of, but I think if the two of them get some good roles and really, get some momentum, then people will be like, oh, maybe, we could use him more like this and less, I'm trying to think of we could use Taron Egerton more, Kingsman 1 and less Robin Hood. And we could use Charlie Hunnam more, The Gentleman and less of King Arthur. Which, honestly, I didn't think was a terrible movie. That was just like a subtle jab, but I actually, for the record, didn't think that was too terrible. So that's all, and thanks for watching.